column. What is it?
What, the Hadron Collider?
Collider, yeah. Hadron. Okay, so yes, they've accelerating an accelerant. That's what I was looking for. They are using plasma.
Sorry, we're sitting in the herbal garden.
Yeah, and I got caught off, and it's been hectic. Like I was mentioned earlier, with that hate group coming down on us, and we'll return back to that when we calm down on the words.
Yes.
But because we're jumping around.
We are a bit squirrely,
Plasma
but I
as
still
an
remember.
accelerator to speed the increase of it, so all the particles collide at a faster rate, and then they wouldn't have to go so large. But that TED Talk was a couple years, or last year, 2 years ago.
I'm not sure.
I think it was 15 or 16. It was relatively recent, but it was a while back. Yeah. There's some lady, I can't remember, but that's what they're doing. And they've done that, and they were trying to get funding for people to help them accelerate. But they were using plasma. And it was right around whenever the Air Force said that they were shooting plasma bombs up.
Yeah.
And then I was looking here while we're on it, because you said that you were feeling weird. So scientists use magnetic fields to remotely stimulate brain and control body movements.
Okay, well, I almost seized out in Walmart. It was Monday when I was school shopping, and I don't know what time it was, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, but I thought I was going to go into a full-blown seizure. I was scared enough to look at Khalil and say, you know what to do, and he said, yeah, and I said, call for help if we don't make it, because I was looking for Mom. I said, if we don't make it to Grandma. But it was similar to one I had in Shop and Save, where I fell into the wine, but I didn't seize out. It was like a small seizure, like it just kind of fucked me up for a minute, and then I was still, that's what happened, but I fell into a clothes rack, and it just felt so heavy ever since. And I told you, I had a break last night.
And we were talking about stress.
Stress, yeah, so, but yeah, it's been very heavy for my brain, at least. Could just be a seizure.
Going on. All right.
Yeah, the solar eclipse had just happened, but I didn't feel any kind. Like, I was looking at all these posts. Oh, the energy's going to be great, a good time for change, or the energy's going to be horrible, it's going to be fucking chaos, and I'm just like, meh. I don't. Meh. It was the day of the eclipse, though. Monday was the eclipse. You're correct.
I wasn't talking, but I mean, everything affects the tides, the waves.
And I had also told you it had been that way for like a week prior to. I felt angry or particularly irritated with just
everybody did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just energies. I don't know about some big epiphany or something that might occur. I've read several articles about that.
I mean,
fantasize, fairy tell it.
Yeah, sensationalize.
Yes, I love that word. Sensationalism.
Yeah, I prefer debate. It could just be a coincidence.
Yeah. So this is what it says. The technique researchers developed is called magnetothermal stimulation.
Wait, what? Say that one more time.
Where? The very first sentence.
Oh, magneto.
Yeah, thermal.
Like X-Men. Magnetothermal stimulation.
Yeah, you thought I was like couldn't read, huh?
Yeah, it just it didn't register.
I know, because it's like, whoa, what? It gives neuroscientists a powerful new tool.
I told you I'm not an auditory learner.
A remote and innovative way to trigger activity deep inside the brain, turning certain cells on and off to study how these changes affect physiology. There's a lot of work being done now to map the circuits that control the neuron circuits that control behavior and emotions, says lead researcher, and I am not going to pronounce his foreign name. But you can check this out. Just type in scientists use magnetic stuff to control brain. How is the computer of our mind working? The technique we have developed could aid this effort greatly. Understanding how it works, they say, all the different parts, Parkinson's disease, traumatic brain injuries, dystonia, paralysis, all fall in this category of behavior and emotion. Bullshit. They want to get certain regions of the brain. In mice, the team succeeded in activating 3 distinctive regions of the brain to induce certain motor functions. Stimulating cells in the motor cortex caused the animals to run, while stimulating cells in the stratum, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, striatum, caused the animals to turn around. When the scientists activated a deeper region of the brain, the mice froze. So yeah, I'm going to have to start studying the brain more. I'm trying to recall high school.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it, so I just didn't give a shit.
How I think it was a while back we were having a conversation about how it seemed very unlikely that my crooked brainstem had nothing to do with my seizures, and how my neurologist had told me that when I first found out.
I think that it does.
10 years later, yeah, they're now like, oh, come find out.
Yeah.
It most likely does. So it's a constant work in progress.
So they use genetic engineering to introduce a special strand of DNA in targeted neurons, causing these cells to produce a heat-activated ion channel. Then researchers inject specially crafted magnetic nanoparticles. Oh my god.
Yeah, that nanotechnology.
Into the same areas of the brain.
Nano is just a size, sorry.
These nanoparticles latch onto the surface of the targeted neurons, forming a thin covering like the skin of an onion. When an alternating magnetic field is applied to the brain, it causes the nanoparticles magnetization.
Look up
to magnetize and to flip rapidly, generating heat that warms the targeted cells. What I'm thinking here is I'll tell you in a minute. This forces the temperature-sensitive ion channels to open, spurring the neurons to fire. The particles the researchers used in the new eLife study consisted of cobalt, that's what I was thinking, ferrite core surrounded by a manganese shell.
It reminds me of this new implant that they can put on your spine, and it doesn't cause any damage, but it has the potential to make paralyzed people walk again just by stimulating that connection to the brain.
Okay, now looky here. For the last long-ass time, I don't even know how many years, there's been many cases and studies of this Morgellons disease, and it's where nanoparticles, they're literally coming out in these tiny little fibers. And they react to shit and can be stimulated once they're in that petri dish thing, dude. And under the microscope.
You were telling me about that.
And it is very, very real. And now, flip forward, and we have these scientists saying, I'm not sure if they're being controlled, I'm not going to go that far, but just to see if they can mimic or take hold to us or whatever their experiment may have been.
Wow.
The scary thing, Rachel, that's not the scary thing. Those people that are finding them are people whose bodies are rejecting them. So imagine the thousands like us who aren't rejecting it.
Maybe my brain is. Maybe my body isn't, but my brain is, because there's a disconnect somewhere.
Who knows? And if they're mimicking and casing themselves and fucking whatever the hell they're doing, they're nanotubes. They've been known. They don't unknown fibers of nanotube-ish resemblance. They just haven't said it. All right, moving on.
We can go back to the Human Rights Committee.
Yeah. So this Family Policy Council has decided to
take action, or they will take action.
It's going to take action, they say, by hundreds of people into our little tiny town, saying that if sexual identity, sexual orientation, and is included in the Human Rights Commission as
But we're
one
going
of
to need,
their
what, 10 to 20 police?
Yeah, they're going to police. They said that they're going to riot for days after. It's weeks after if it's passed, and going to bring in lawsuits.
Yeah. So pretty much trying to intimidate.
Yeah, intimidate and threaten. I mean, that's right. Our city council members and our town and the lives of the LGBT community, as well as us, the regular people who freaking live here, because these people don't even live here.
They're from other counties, other places.
So I want to make a correction. If you had read Wednesday's paper, August 23rd, if you had read that newspaper and the front page did say that the Fairmont City Council has approved to vote on a public hearing for a non-discrimination ordinance, that was false information and a misunderstanding. What it should have said was they have approved for us a Human Rights Commission to be put on the public hearing and for them to vote on, where residents can come and speak their opinion about it, for or against. Nothing has been passed, and it will cover discrimination for all people under race, color, gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, handicap, disability, mental disability, anybody,
religion,
yeah, felons, whoever, for the human rights of everybody. And that was the misunderstanding, that this family policy council group, and you can look them up on their website, they're anti-everything under the sun.
I mean, and we already know, and even you said this, we already knew that things like this were going to happen, the backlash of all of this, because of the unrest in our country right now. That we are kind of divided, and Trump did incite riots.
Yeah, he gave a voice to
hatred and
to
discrimination.
I believe this is the last baby boomers' little
hurrah before dying out, hopefully.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's holding on to.
And hopefully they didn't brainwash the new generation beyond repair.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. Hatred is taught. Isn't that what we've learned? You're not born with it in your heart. It's something that you had to adopt from your environment or learn along the way.
Yes, it's really weird.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
But now we are possibly facing riots here in our little town simply for being accepting of all. And what really got me is they're like, oh, you can be cool with everything else but that. But sexual identity and or identification.
Yeah, they said that they wouldn't riot if it was left out. But if it's included, to expect a bumpy ride.
Yeah, and that's absolutely...
And you can find all this information.
We're accepting of everything, but... and, that's just ridiculous to me. Come on. Who cares? I mean, why do you care enough? You should focus on yourself and stop caring about what everybody else's preferences are. My father always taught me that it was rude to speak about religion. Even, it's just some things, you should just let it go. I mean, it has nothing to do with you.
Let it go.
Yes, let it be too. Isn't that what Matt said?
Yeah, let it be. Just let it be.
Let it be.
I cannot find it.
You laid it
somewhere. Yeah, somewhere.
I don't know if you picked it up.
I don't know, sorry. It's on the porch. Should we do that then? Oh well, I don't know. I don't know. What
right.
Yep.
Trash.
Interesting.
Fan, maybe?
Yeah, probably.